Welcome to Driving Miss Elly. I'm Ellie. Well, I promised to show you my rabbit, and here it is. Now, this is a car review channel, so of course the rabbit I'm talking about is the Volkswagen Rabbit, or VW Golf for everyone outside the US. These cars sold very well globally and set new standards in car design and delivered quality build at affordable prices. Although this example was first registered in 1990, it can trace most of its design right back to 1974 when the first VW Golf hit the market. At this time, the new Golf Rabbit, or Type 17 as it was known internally, was a brave new move for VW, who were not in the best financial health.
Cars like the Mark I Golf, with 3- and 5-door hatchback bodies and front-wheel drive layout are the norm today, but they weren't very common in the mid-70s, even in Europe. This new model was light years ahead of the massively popular but prehistoric Beetle that it was about to replace.
However, this little rabbit had to wait a couple of years for its finest hour, the introduction of the GTI. These fuel-injected front-drive hatches were beefed-up suspension and bucket seats called last orders for the traditional sports car by providing an unbeatable mix of strong, reliable performance and predictable front-wheel drive handling. They reinvented affordable, sporty motoring during the 1980s and spawned many successful imitators. VW had one more trick up their sleeve with the Type 17, and that was to chop its top off. This job was handed to Carmen, who were with parts supplied from VW to build the new Golf Cabriolet known as the Type 155. This new contract with Carmen would replace the production of the Beetle Cabriolet and would last from 1979 all the way through to 1994. My car was first registered in early 1990 and would have cost its excited new owner about £14,500. It is equipped with the famous GTI 1.8 inline-4 engine with the all-important fuel injection courtesy of Bosch. It should deliver 112 brake horsepower and 109 pounds-foot of torque, enough to get this 1,000-kilogram car to 60 miles an hour in 9.1 seconds and onto speeds of 116 miles per hour. It's got the body kit with smooth painted bumpers, wheel arch extensions and skirts, all fitted to all cabriolets after 1988, a year which also saw the introduction of the non-fuel injected Clipper version for a couple of £1,000 less. By the mid-1980s, cabriolet versions of hot hatches were all the rage in the UK. Most competition came from Ford's XR3i Cabrio, costing about £500 less than Golf, and Vauxhall's GTE convertible with its strong 2-litre engine, and Peugeot's 205 CTI. The Mark I Cabriolet was in production alongside the entire production of the Mark II Golf, keeping Volkswagen in a sector of the market which they had invented and now saw other manufacturers profiting from. When the Mark III Golf came along in 1994, an all-new cabriolet was available based on the new platform, and finally the Mark I Golf could retire after spanning the best part of 20 years. The interior of this little beauty is all pretty old. I do have a very old-fashioned switch for my lights, the standard indicators, lights and washers, and for my wipers as well. I'd only have 2 speeds on my wipers, one slow, one fast, so not a lot in between. It's not very adjustable. My heaters are a quite old school little turny mechanism, and of course it's got the old style key ignition where a lot of cars, modern cars these days, have a no key, which does baffle me. Had a stereo fitted, standard glove box which is lockable, my trusty ashtray, and my trusty car lighter, which a lot of cars also don't carry these days. I had a very nice stereo system fitted. My boot is full of subwoofer and amp, because what else would you put in your boot? I'm not a typical girl, so shopping is not an option. I would rather have a good sound system. It's really, really roomy inside, which is quite uncommon for a car of its size, to have such good legroom, particularly in the back seats. See a lot of these modern cabriolets with their very, very small back seats, and you just really can't carry passengers. I have old school adjustable wing mirrors with little knobs, which is a bugger to get right if you're trying to do the passenger side. So I've owned my little rabbit for 9 years. It was a bit of a nightmare when I first got it because I wanted this car since I was about 17 years old. I had to have one, so when I managed to find one in 2011, I bought it. Unfortunately, there were some problems. It had some rust, some niggles, but it was too late. I'd already bought it. So off I went again to try and find myself another one because I had to have this car. Luckily, I found this little baby. Nothing wrong with it, absolutely sound. So I ended up breaking the first one to make sure I had spares, just in case, because you know what those people are like in car parks. It's a great little car to have. I get so much attention. It's so much fun to drive. Obviously, it has no power steering, no central locking. Everything on it is completely manual, but I absolutely love it. Typical old car, it's got its little niggles, it needs little repairs, but it's just worth it for the joy that it brings me. With it being my car, of course I had to do some little personalisations. I had some BBS alloys added and some little 8-ball door locks, because why not? They're fun. I did have at one point some really cool cherry mats and a matching cherry steering wheel cover. However, over time, sadly, the steering wheel cover had to go because it became too warped, and I haven't replaced it yet.
Driving Miss Elly Mad!
Today, on Driving Miss Elly Mad, my gripe is those people that sit right up your backside. What is that all about? It's so dangerous, particularly when they can overtake you, and particularly when it's raining. If you're one of those drivers that sits up other people's backsides, just stop. Thanks for joining us today on Driving Miss Elly. Do us a favour, go down to the bottom, click the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell so you'll never miss a new episode. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook by typing in the search bar Driving Miss Elly. See you soon.